Bradford City continue their EFL Trophy campaign with a trip to League One side at Mansfield Town, and in today's video you're going to find out how both teams have got on so far this season and what my team would be if I was Graham Alexander. Now, Bradford City currently sits 7th in the League 2 table. After 6 matches we've got 3 wins, 1 draw and 2 defeats, scoring 9 goals and conceding 7, which leaves us on a positive 2 goal difference and 10 points. Our last couple of matches then have been a loss, a win, a loss, a win and a draw. Them last couple of matches then been a 2-1 defeat away at Walsall. Very frustrating game, conceding in the 88th minute to Danny Johnson, of all people, the former STAGS man. We didn't really create enough chances in this game. Clough missed an open goal. I think on another day this game could finish 4-4. We had so many chances from set piece and somehow they were just constantly cleared off the line, but Sam Walker made a number of very good saves inside the opening 15 minutes. The referee was terrible and unfortunately we came away from the game with probably what we deserved in the end. Maybe a point would have been fair, but I think that's looking from the best possible circumstance. We also had a 2-1 win at home to Carlisle. Andy Cook bagging a brace in this one despite a major goalkeeping error from Sam Walker. Brilliant win for us, and obviously nice to finally get one over on Carlisle after the playoff semi-final defeat and all the other stuff that came with it a couple of seasons ago. We also had a 2-2 draw at home to Newcastle United's under-21s, losing 4-3 on penalties. Ollie Sanderson and Andy Cook both find themselves on the score sheet in this one. Newcastle equalised in the 92nd minute, and then Andy Cook and Alex Patterson both missed their penalties, or saw their penalties saved, should I say. We dominated the match. We were comfortably the better side, but we weren't clinical enough in front of goal. Newcastle's under-21s punished us. I mean, their second goal was an absolute crime. We also had a 2-1 defeat away at Grimsby. We were shocking in this game. Definitely deserved to get absolutely nothing out of it. They should have won the game by more than the 1 goal margin. Only losing by 1 goal flattered us. This was one of the worst performances we've seen under Graham Alexander, and fingers crossed we don't see another performance like that anytime soon. And we also had a 3-1 win at home to Bromley FC. The early red card definitely did change the game, but we were very comfortable throughout it. Shame we weren't able to keep a clean sheet in the end, but very good to see the likes of Smallwood, Cook and Poynton all on the score sheet, and a match we definitely did deserve to win. Compared though to Mansfield Town, they currently sit 8th in the League 1 table. After 5 matches they've got 2 wins, 2 draws and 1 defeat, scoring 9 goals and conceding 10, which leaves them on a -1 goal difference and 8 points. Their last couple of matches then have been a win, a draw, a loss, a draw and a win, so very symmetrical in terms of their form at the moment. Their last couple of matches then have been a 2-1 win at home to Cambridge United. Lee Gregory bagging a brace in this game. There were plenty of chances for both sides, but that second goal from Lee Gregory, it was an absolute wonder strike into the top corner. Brilliant goal, and that is the type of quality that Mansfield do have. They've got to be beating teams like Cambridge, with all due respect, if they do want to avoid relegation this season. They also missed a week for the international break when we played against Carlisle, so just before that they did a 1-1 draw at home to Stockport. Here on Boateng scoring the only goal of the game for the Stags. Statistically, Stockport were much the better side in the game. They had 20% more possession, loads of more shots on target as well, but it's the type of matches where you're at home against a team that you've been promoted with last season, where you need to be picking up something from the game, again, if you do want to be avoiding relegation. They had a load of injuries around this time, but still fielded a very strong squad. I really do like the strike partnership of Gregory and Will Evans, but I think it's unlikely both of them will start. I know they've got a few injuries at the moment, but I can't see both of them starting in this one. They also had a 4-1 defeat away at Lincoln. They were really poor in this game. They were 4-0 down after 51 minutes. They actually had 73% of the possession, did Mansfield, but it goes to show that even away from home, if you dominate the ball, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to score a load of goals. Christy Pym made a couple of mistakes in this match and they were pretty comfortably beaten. I think this was Davis Keeler-Dunn's final game for Mansfield. I could be wrong. Did he play in the game against Stockport? He did not. They also had a 2-0 defeat away at Rotherham United. Jordan Hugill bagging a brace in this game. I missed the first 10 minutes, but I actually watched the majority of this game, and I thought Mansfield were very unlucky. They had a number of really good chances, and again, dominated possession, 74% of the ball, 24 shots, but Rotherham were more clinical. They only had 2 shots on target and scored 2 goals. Alex McDonald, the former Stag man, was sent off in the 69th minute for a pretty poor challenge, in all honesty, but with the way that the group stage has been drawn this season, our game against Newcastle's under-21s was definitely the easiest on paper, and now we've got Mansfield and Rotherham both to come, two very decent League 1 sides. And they also had a 3-3 draw at home to Burton Albion, with Lee Gregory scoring a 97th minute penalty. Very even game, in all honesty. A draw was probably a fair result. The likes of Will Evans also find himself on the score sheet. Billy Bowden bagging a brace for the Brewers, and in all honesty, a draw probably was the fair result. They obviously lost Davis Keeler-Dunn on a transfer deadline. They didn't really replace him, in all honesty, but I think Mansfield are going to be more than fine this season. I've got a video coming out about Mansfield in the next next coming weeks or so. They sit 8th in the table at the moment, and I don't see them being relegated this season, in all honesty. Now we're going to get into the team, though, that I would go with if I was Graham Alexander. But just before we do that, please make sure to drop a like on there for me. We are aiming for 50 likes on today's video, and don't forget as well to subscribe to the channel if you are new. We're now on the road to 300 subscribers. Get your thoughts in down in the comment section down below. What would your starting 11 be for this match, and how do you think the game will finish? Who do you think will win? Let me know that sort of stuff down below. Now, I was really debating between what formation we should go with in this game. We've obviously played the 3-1-4-2 for the majority of our time under Graham Alexander, apart from a couple matches at the start where we played a 4-4-2. We had to go to a 4-4-2 against Walsall at the weekend because of the amount of defender injuries we've got, but I've just about managed to wiggle enough players in there to make the 3-1-4-2 a possibility. In goal, I've gone with Zach Hady. For me personally, I'd like to see Hady get minutes in the EFL Trophy, and it's obviously my team, and we expect Colin Dorrell to play in this one, which is frustrating. You would also expect Scott Flinders to probably play for Mansfield, so you know the average age of both sides goalkeepers are going to be at 38, 39, something like that. I'd much rather though see a young talent get an opportunity who's obviously had experience with England rather than a 40-year-old goalkeeping coach, but that's just my opinion. Into my back three then, I've kind of gone with the only three players who can and have previously played in centre-back, or certainly that I am aware of. At right centre-back, I've gone with Cheick Diabate. I thought he was pretty solid against Walsall. Corbin obviously disagreed with me in yesterday's player ratings, and there were a few, to be fair, who disagreed in the comment section, so maybe I didn't see enough from Diabate, or maybe I was just being a little bit generous, but I thought he was okay, apart from obviously he didn't pick up Danny Johnson for their second goal, but on the whole I think he's been solid so far, and he's our only fit natural right-footed centre-back available at the moment, with Johnson, Bowling and Byrne all injured for this match and will be for a couple more weeks minimum. In the middle, I've gone with Jack Shepherd. I think it'll make a bit more sense when I tell you who the left centre-back is, although I'm sure you're probably able to work that one out. I think Shepherd for me obviously came on after about 20 minutes or so, again away from home in that blue kit because of another defender injury for Neil Byrne. I think he looked pretty solid in the middle of the back three. There was one or two shaky moments in the game, but on the whole I think him and Diabate, because they haven't played much football together, we do have to give them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, in all honesty. And I think in a back three against Mansfield, I think Shepherd would be okay in the middle, in all honesty. And at left centre back, I've gone with Lewis Richards. Has had previous experience playing left centre back in a back three, played there for Harrogate, and he's played there a few times for us, more notably in the pre-season just gone by, but I certainly think left centre back would suit Richards much more than at left wing back. He obviously played in the game against Newcastle United's under 21s, and I think on the whole he is okay as a League 2 backup sort of centre back wing back option. I don't think he's good enough to be starting week in week out. He gave the foul away which led to Newcastle's second goal in the previous EFL Trophy match, but again lack of defenders available. Kieran Kelly might be fit, but I don't think we should force him to play in this one in the EFL Trophy. I think we should rest him up and get him back available for Saturday's game against Wimbledon. But for me personally, I'd go with the back three of Diabate, Shepherd and Richards, but you could go with Halliday, Diabate and Shepherd if that's the way you want to play. It's just that Brad Halliday I don't think has any natural experience of playing as a right centre-back in a back three, but I don't think it would be something that he would do a bad job at, in all honesty. As my holding midfielder then, I've gone with my captain for this game, Alex Patterson. With the amount of players who've been playing recently, I think Smold could do with a rest. He looked a little bit tired against Walsall, and we do have to factor he's 34, 35 years of age now, and I know Smold is going to be a player who's fit and available for the large part, and I would probably expect Smold to start in this game. I would personally go with Alex Patterson. Alexander was fairly happy with the cover that we had in this position. I think Patterson is much better going forward. He hasn't played that much football over the last 2 or 3 matches, so I'd like to see him get a start in this one as the holding midfielder, and out of everybody who's on the pitch, he probably would be the best option for the captain. At right wing back, I've gone with Jay Ben. It's been a bit of an interesting signing so far, has Jay Ben. Has only played about 30 minutes or so on off the bench against Newcastle in the EFL Trophy. Got a brilliant assist and looked lively going forward, and we're yet to see him since. Even at the weekend when we needed a goal, he wasn't really called upon, which I thought was a little bit bizarre. I thought Halliday's been okay so far this season, but going forward isn't offering enough for me, so hopefully Jay can get 65, 75 minutes under his belt in this one and prove to be a real threat. As my 2 central midfielders, firstly I've gone with Joe Adams. Again, similar to Jay Ben, we've only seen him the once so far this season. He was a player who we tracked throughout all of pre-season, and we've only seen him play about 60, 65 minutes against Newcastle's under 21s, and you could tell he was definitely unfit and hadn't had much of a pre-season because he was absolutely miles off it in that game. Had 1 or 2 okay moments, but apart from that, I thought he did look pretty underwhelming. Partnering him, I've gone with Bobby Poynton, kind of at fault for the goal, the second goal at the weekend. He doesn't work hard enough. Well, maybe he doesn't work hard enough, but he doesn't stop the cross, which I think has to come down to him. I don't think you can really blame Tyreek Wright for that. So I'd like to see Poynton get a start in this one. Again, EFL Trophy, opportunity to rotate, and Poynton hasn't played much football so far this season, but again, has he really deserved that? And as my left wing back, I've gone with Tyreek Wright. Again, if you're playing Lewis Richards as a left centre back, Clough played a lot of football recently, and obviously Wright is more of a natural left wing back, even though I don't think he's particularly great in that position. You could go with, like what I say, a back three of Halliday, Diabate and Shepherd, and then play Lewis Richards at left wing back, but I've gone with this way around, and maybe you swap that at half time. You bring Halliday on for Tyreek Wright, and then you can do the swap around. But I would personally like to see Tyreek Wright get the start in this one, just because we don't really have any other options to play in that position. As my two strikers then, I've rotated them both. Firstly, I've gone with Viden Oliver. I'm not really a fan of Oliver, in all honesty, but I don't think we should be flogging Cook to death by playing him in games like the EFL Trophy, unless we need him on off the bench for like the last 25-30 minutes. That's okay, but he definitely should not be starting in the EFL Trophy, because we need him fit and available in the league. He didn't really look that involved at the weekend against Walsall, so I'd like to see Oliver get a start in this one, and hopefully he can finally produce a bit of something in a Bradford City shirt. And partnering him, I've gone with Tyler Smith. Ollie Sanderson has looked okay the last couple of games, but for the match against Walsall, scored a great goal, but was largely ineffective. Was brilliant though in the previous round in the EFL Trophy, and obviously we know Tyler Smith last season was very good in this competition, so I guess it's kind of swings and roundabouts. But the EFL Trophy is an opportunity to rotate and see about the quality in your squad, and see if they are able to have an impact on the game. So I'd personally go Oliver and Smith. I think it's unlikely we will qualify for the competition now, and maybe that's a bit of a weak mentality, but I'd much rather us focus on the league this season than get caught up in a quarter-final, semi-final, final of an EFL Trophy and get a little bit distracted. So I'd do a full rotation. If you win, positive news. If you don't, I don't think it's really the end of the world. As much as the prize money is nice, I don't think it is. It's not millions of pounds that we're talking about. On the bench for me, I've gone with Sam Walker, Brad Halliday, Richie Smallwood, Jamie Walker, Clark Adore, Ollie Sanderson and Andy Cook. The players currently unavailable are Neil Byrne, Aidan Baldwin, Kieran Kelly, Callum Johnson, Anthony Sarcevic and Callum Kavanagh. So the players who miss out then through selection will be Colin Doyle, Gabriel Wadsworth and Harry Ibbotson. My score prediction for this match is Mansfield Town 3, Bradford City 1. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you very soon for another one.